How you guys doing? I remember the first time I heard this song. I remember exactly where it was. I was walking, it was wintertime, and I had just gotten a mixtape from a friend named Jan. Oh, I needed that. Oh man, that was, pardon me. That was good. Guys, how are you? My name is Tyler. Welcome to the Amp Sim Show. If you've never joined us before, fantastic. Welcome to the show. I've been told a few things. I've been told I need to let the intro screen go a little longer to wait for people to jump in. And I've also been told I should run the music a tiny bit louder because you guys can't really hear it. I can hear it, but you guys can't really hear the music. Is that true? That you guys can't hear the music really when I'm like during the midstream, or can you hear it? It's hard. When I watch it back on my TV, everything looks astoundingly a lot better than I had anticipated. Things are starting to look and really shape up around here. I made a few notes though. And yeah, to me as well, I couldn't really hear the music. Thomas, how are you? Feeling kind of anxious today, guys. I'm not going to lie to you. It just is what it is today. Kind of anxious. Nothing. Whenever I take a day off work, it creates a lot of work for somebody else. We used to do it. We have a thing where we have like supplies or temps that roll in to certain spots. But I don't get that. So somebody else has to be like repurposed. So when I take a day off work, people have to cover my service to my job. And I don't like that feeling. I don't like it. I like it even less when I'm gone for the day and someone looks at my job and decides that they want to make like changes to the things that I'm doing. Gosh, that gives me so much anxiety knowing that sort of thing is going on. Anyways, so today I'm here with you and just a Telecaster. You guys have seen this Telecaster before. This is not a new guitar. I recently just decided that the very poorly cut paisley pickguard on it was driving me a bit nuts. It never really looked that good on this guitar. I took it off another guitar that it did look really good on because I found something that looked even better, but I had already paid a lot for that pickguard. So I'm like, I gotta do something with it. And it never really suited this guitar. I never really liked it that much. So we have a plain black pickguard, same pickups. It's still a DiMarzio PAF Pro 36th anniversary and a humbucker from hell. Although I'm not sure that I have the height right on the humbucker from hell, as that one needed to be the height. They were perfect, but then they needed to be messed with a little bit. I also ended up changing the tone of the guitar a little bit because I put an orange capacitor in it before. That was just a volume knob and a two-way switch. I also felt, okay, well, this time I'm going to put a three-way switch back in it. And I did that, and it sounds pretty good. So we're going to just try this guitar out today with the popular AmpHub. But we're going to go old and new school here. I want to note that we're going to go old school and new school Ignite amps, just to show where they've come, how far they've come over the years. So we're going to start out with old school. All right. And one thing I think is that if you think that STL Ignite is just a straight up metal developer, you're incorrect. The first Tonality, for example, is a very good example of why that's incorrect. The first Tonality, you'd think they would have gone all metal, all genty with it to make a big splash, because at the time that was, it's not as much anymore, but at the time that was the way to go. Forgive me, I'm going to need a lot of refreshments today. How's it going, everybody? Baritone Goat Studio. Yes, it is the best guitar shape in the world, and I'm happy to announce that not only my new guitar from Meinzinger Guitars is going to be their take on the Telecaster shape known as the Tempest. I'm very excited for it. And my guitar, I'm going to be doing. I'm getting a guitar that was pre-built, though this was not built to my specs. However, in the fall, I'm jumping in on a build now that I'm going to be getting in the fall, which is going to be another Tempest, but it's going to be made to my specs. And this thing is going to be black and nothing but very, very black and white. I cannot wait. It's going to be super sick. Going to be made to Doom, made to also Crush, and can't wait. It's going to be kind of a dual purpose instrument. It's going to be very, very cool, and I can't wait. Also, going to be putting a set of pickups from I'm kind of working on with Aurora Tone. It just so happens that when I suggested they work on a dual rail, they have a quad rail there called the Earth Crusher, and they're going to be doing a dual rail, a la like a Jupiter rail type pickup, or like a Dimebuck or anything dual rail you've seen out there. They're going to be doing one of those as well. And I just happened to also, when I mentioned that, he was like, yeah, well, I'm already thinking about doing that. So then we talked about a very doomy neck pickup. So I'm very excited about that. And so we got a little off topic there. I always love talking. If you guys have not checked out Baritone Goat Studio, by the way, this guy knows his shit. Okay, go check out his channel as well. He's got some fantastic videos. I watch a lot of his stuff. It got me very interested in baritone guitars specifically. So I recently purchased a baritone because of some of the stuff I was watching on his channel, and it's contagious. Wanting a baritone, you don't know that you want a baritone until you watch his. It's not all baritone based, but he does a lot of stuff with baritone. So do make sure you check that out, and make sure you check his stuff out. Lots of pickup content, which I love. Also, another thing I like his content for. So thanks for dropping by, sir. I appreciate you. Ton Guitar, how are you? Brain dead. How are you? Man, it's nice to see everybody here. 8 people in the house today. Thomas, nice to see you. As mentioned, Ton Guitar in the house. I need to check out the Aurora Tone stuff. I think you should. Canadian based. It's going to be our new one of our new sponsors. I have, admittedly, at this point, really only heard lots and lots of tone clips, and I've loved all the tone clips. And you know, tone clips are pretty evident. And the thing I love about tone clips, and I always tell you guys, when you like a piece of gear, or if you see a very processed, and no, I'm not going to say processed, but a produced video, Ola, Ryan Bruce, you know, all your upper heifers, you know, those dudes their production quality is fan-fucking-tastic. So if you ever see something on one of like the larger channels that you really like the sound of, make sure you do your due diligence and go out there and look for someone that just go watch the videos, do a search with like the least amount of views for that piece of gear, and then watch all the like the we'll say not worst, but the low quality. Watch all the videos from those people as well. Listen to how the piece of gear that you're wanting to listen to. Go and make sure you watch videos from people that don't, it's just cell phone audio and stuff like that. When it comes to pickup shootout videos are pretty awesome. I like the videos where people like Keith Merrill used to do. He did the Seymour Duncan one that has probably been watched a bajillion times. And those videos are also infinitely helpful because you can go back and forth and listen to clips of he's playing the same riff. It's the same DI, just being fed and looped through the different pickups. I don't know if it's the same DI and the same being looped, or if it's just him actually playing the same riff over and over again. But either way, it's giving you the same guitar, same pickups. Same guitar, same amp, same everything, but except the pickups are being changed. What does that do? Well, it gives you the full focus on the things that are actually changing. He's not giving you like, you know, 3 sets of pickups with one guitar and 4 sets of pickups with another guitar, and then 2 sets with a brand new guitar. And then, you know, he's not doing that. The only reason he changes any guitars is if it goes from 6 to 7 or 8 string pickups and such. I love those and look for a lot of those shootouts. And another thing I like is if you're looking for pickups, look for any comparisons you can find with the pickups from a lot of companies that you may not have heard of. Ask them, honestly, just ask them straight up. Some companies will be like, well, I don't really want to compare our pickups to anything contemporary. You're lying to me, shut up! Stop lying! Just compare it to something, you know, just say like, what's your loose comparison tonally to the headhunter pickup, you know, for this or that. And they'll give you, well, okay, it sounds a little, well, the inspiration for this pickup was a little bit of DiMarzio deactivator and a little bit of 59, not 59, but a little bit of, let's say, Nazgul, you know. It's like I took the best of both of those pickups. I tried to make something different. Okay, that's like, we can start there, you know. It's very difficult when they give you something and you just have a tone clip. There's so many variables in tone clips as well. Let's get moving though. In this particular guitar, we're not worried about stuff like that. Now we're going to start old, as I mentioned. We're going the oldest of old school. We're going to build something that we used to build back in the day. Okay? And I'm going to just use it like I would have used back in the day, which is even more fun. Okay? So if I go here, this is the old... these are the old Fredman impulse responses, and these are the, Catharsis Studio impulse responses from way back in the day. So that's what I'm going to use for my impulse response of choice. Okay. And then I'm going to build a rig, essentially. So there's my pedal, is going to be my tube screamer here. And I'm not going to use much of a screamer. I'm not after metal. I'm just after rock tones today, guys. This is very much a rock Telecaster. And anytime you see this guitar, it's probably not going to be doing anything but general dad rock, straight up the middle kind of stuff. Now, I'm going to use the Anvil from Ignite Amps as well, along with the Ignite Amps Nadir. And then we're going to make something very simple. I'm also going to use the TPA-1. I'm going to put it right there underneath the Anvil. And we're going to fire that up. And that is the power section. I'm going to run it like you'd ever run any other power section. I'm going to think of how I would run like a 5150 or something along those lines. I'm looking for rock. So they go click to the arrows here. These are free, by the way. Click EL34. Let's go to the screen. Not much to see here, to be honest. These are older plugins. They don't have the big vector UIs or anything like that. So we're going to keep it pretty minimal for what you guys are going to get to see. Just going to be kind of getting to hear. That was the point back in the day, though, is if it sounded good, you weren't really concerned about how it looked. We weren't really that concerned about it back in the day. Now, we are going to go to the rhythm channel. And we're going to mess around just a little bit here and make something, get a little bit dad rock happening. Okay. That doesn't sound too bad at all. Not too shabby. A little bit too much. That's it right there. That's where I parked my car. Now we can get this screamer happening. All right, let's forget the pedal for a minute, and let's just go after tone here for a minute. I know you guys are getting a lot of it in the background, and these are really, really new strings. So I'm sorry in advance. Yes, you guys are just singing my praise for Telecasters. It is my favorite guitar ever made. I won't make any bones about that. I have two favorite guitars ever made. And because I'm a realist, as far as my budget goes and my pocket goes, my favorite guitars ever made are the RG and the Telecaster. Because there's just varying scales of price in both those guitars. And no matter what scale you buy, either an IRG or a Telecaster on, whether you spend $200 on your local marketplace or you go and spend $2,500, or you could even spend $3,000, you could spend $5,000 on like a premium top of the line RG. You know, the ones made in Japan, the J Customs and stuff, you could spend a lot of money. And either one, no matter the both ends of the spectrum on for Telecasters, whether it's the Squire Affinity series or whether it's, you know, your American Custom, it's always durable. They always play well. And they're always easy to maintain. Not easy to wire though. RGs are really easy to wire, but Telecasters, oh boy. You got to be careful with Telecasters. They are not that easy to wire. So anyways, we're just chilling out here with some old Ignite today. 75 is my favorite number, so I'm a little happy about today's stream. I'm noticing that it is not extraordinarily bright right now. And that is a little bit odd to me. Am I using something? No. I'm a little bit concerned with the brightness of what I'm hearing right now. Only because that I feel like that capacitor is just robbing me of some of my top end that I put in. I'll have to talk about that with Bo later, but that's later. That's not now. Anyhow, we're just chilling out. Is Bo here? Bo's still here. Bo, what do you know about the Anvil? I can't remember what this one is based on. It's the NRR1 that's based on like one of the Soldano units, I think. Man, so I'm a little concerned about like because this guitar was very bright and these are brand new strings. I'm wondering if I hadn't made a mistake here. This is pretty bright. Let's see. Let's go to the next channel here. Let's use this on lower gain without, and there's also no screamer right now. Okay, we got a little bit of presence on this one. Let's see. No, it's all there. It's fine. All right, we're just going to go back here, and I'm just going to use a bit more of that headroom. Anytime I've got to turn a control on anything beyond 7, I start questioning the amount of headroom that is there. It's either you're questioning the amount of headroom that's there, or you're questioning your tonal choices. I've often noticed that people that are complaining about, you know, not enough brightness or this or that, or it's too muddy, then you start getting into conversations like, what pickups are you using? And it turns out they're using like, you know, an entry-level guitar with some entry-level pickups that, you know, we've had this talk a million times, guys. You cannot expect to get beautiful tone that you're hearing from players that are using beautiful guitars, or at least guitars with well-equipped with some really solid pickups. You cannot expect to get that same tone without at least being armed with, you know, a decent set of pickups. I mean, it's not really going to happen. The response is going to be a bit different. This is definitely not a TE 1000. This is just a made in Mexico, plain old nonsense from the marketplace guitar. I didn't really, I paid almost nothing for it. This person had deemed it not functional. And I was like, oh, it's not functional? They're like, yeah, man, I've tried everything to fix it. It just doesn't work. I'm like, okay, so you're just going to give up on it? I'm sure you don't want to try again? Because I was looking at it, and I could tell by looking at it what was probably going to be wrong with it. I was like, are you sure? It might just be this or that. He's like, yeah, man, I'm just done with it. Okay. So I took it off his hands. It was dirt cheap. And I had to peel a lot of shielding tape off of this thing. He had... Somebody told him shielding tape was, and he had made a real serious fucking mess of this guitar, and he did not want me to know what was under the pick guard. And I was like, was there work done to this guitar? And he was like, yeah, man, I've messed around a lot with the inside. I couldn't fix it. But as long as the neck, the tuners, the body, and the bridge and everything is like intact, and the frets are good, everything. I don't give a flying fuck what's going on here. I can replace all of this myself. And I got a steal of a deal. What I decided to do with this guitar from the beginning, though, was just make a bit of a rock machine because it already had some good old dents and bruises and such on it. So that's, I armed it with some pickups that very much just want to do rock. All right, so this is a rig that we would have made back in the day, way back in the day when I was, no, I'm just kidding. Let's go back and at least go and pick a really decent cab from back in the day. Okay, I'm gonna go to guitar, and what would have existed back in the day, way back. Let's go to Own Hammer, and let's go to the, well, I guess I could just go to, what would be good for the rock and roll? All of these are fairly old school. So let's go to the Marshall with lynchbacks. And just go to even, I don't care. Well, actually, you know what? Let's just go to the mixes. Modern mix is fine. Wait, what else do we have access to here? Prog. I don't know, let's try prog mix. See what we have here. That's a bit more like it. Okay, so what do we have going on? This is way back in the day when we had to use our own. We had to use our own signal chains. Oh, this before the suite. Yeah, so this was pretty awesome. This is one of the rigs that I would go after for rock tone, although I really did prefer this channel, if I'm being honest. For rock, this is probably the jam. Yeah, Corrigan, man, I've heard good things. I might actually reach out to see if I have a guitar that I've recently realized is absolutely, it's just a nightmare to find a set of pickups I really like with this guitar, and it matches so few. It really needs to be like a cream set, and it's a risk ordering like a custom set when you're not sure if you're gonna like it, and this guitar seems to be really picky. It is an RG. It's the only RG I've ever had a struggle with, and this guitar has had bad luck from the fucking beginning, though, I'll be honest with you. All this stuff in my chain right now, by the way, is free, except for the pack itself. Okay, so you can go get the anvil here for nothing. You can go get the TPA here for nothing. You can go get the Ignite, and you can go get Nadir here for nothing. And you can also get, the Impulse Response pack will probably cost you like $9, $8 or $9 for the old lynchbacks. I'm not even going to ask anybody to go and look for the price on that for me. I know it's probably going to be $10 or less. I'm also using a lighter gauge string on this guitar, trying to play a little bit more like Southern Rocky type stuff with it, and they're just too light. So I'm just experimenting, and this will run the life of these strings, and I'll go back to 46s. I was trying 44s. I use them for chicken picking only, usually, but I thought, you know what? I'm trying to do something a bit different with this guitar. It's not even really going to be used for like hard rock. It's mostly being used for like lighter stuff, so. And this set of pickups is super fun. All right, let's throw a little delay on that and see where we're at. Not bad, not bad, not bad. We're getting there. Okay. I need some more gain. Very, very cool. Not much of a lead player here, folks, but I'll give you the basic ideas, okay? Gives you the basic idea. Wonderful. I don't know what the fuck is going on here in the background here. And I hear an orchestra of some type. I don't know what's happening. I'm a little confused. I'm a little old here, guys. Huh? Excuse me, I'm so old that I went to high school in a time where teachers could tell you to fuck off in the middle of class and no one would bat an eyelash. That's how old I am. And there's definitely someone in this chat that can attest to that. So we're having a good time here. Today is a Tuesday. I took the day off work because I was just starting to feel some certain bad things just sort of build up, and I just knew I needed to hit a bit of a break. And you might be thinking, well, didn't you just go back to work? What the fuck? Yeah, you're right. But you know what? There's certain things at work, guys. If you feel like there's just going to be a day where, I mean, if you're able. I mean, it sucks, though. Not everyone's able, I understand. Not everyone's able to just take a day off when they need to, and that sucks. I wish everyone could had it in their employment agreement where they'd be able to take a couple of days, one paid day off, even one every 2 months, something like that. Or a couple personal days a year, something like that, because you have to have those days sometimes where if you feel you're about to go to work and not cause more harm than good, but just not be able to function. It just sucks to not be able to take a step off and then go back refreshed the next day. And I find that's an excellent way to do it for me, as also having some stomach issues today. And sometimes you're just like, man, like I can't go. Coach, can't go. All right, what do we got? I can see way more comments, but man, I'm like, my eyes are fucked. Like, they're just fucked. That's it, plain and simple. I wonder if I can somehow make it bigger. No, I can't do it right now. At some point, I'll figure out how to make the chat a bit larger for myself, but this is a great song, by the way. Archspire is, again, a band that I'm predicting in 2025. I'm predicting that at least Dean Lamb, if not all of Archspire, will have plugins, signature efforts. That's one band I think is just top tier, earmarked for an amp sim. I feel like, and as mentioned to you guys before, I was part of an offer over. I don't fully know what became of it. But we did put an offer out, and the product would have been pretty cool. It would have been an amp sim for each stringed instrument member of the band in one suite. It was a very cool idea. It was very cool. I was very excited about it. I had somebody bring up in the chat the other day, by the way, they're like, "You're from Canada, right?" And I said, "Yeah." They're like, I just ignored it, but they did speak. Let's not talk about politics, guys. I know it's really tempting right now, being that I'm from Canada and there's not obvious maniacal drama going on concerning our country. But trust me, I just want to let everybody know we're fine. We're okay. We're okay over here. Nobody's worried a lick. Don't stress out. Don't fear for your Canadian friends. We'll be okay. Glad you're enjoying. I think the Telecaster most durable. Yes, I agree. Going back, I just want to make sure I get to everybody's comments, by the way. That's what somebody said as well. He's like, sometimes you let too many comments go because like you're talking too much. And I mean, I'm glad people will give it to me straight, but there's only so much I can do. I need a bigger screen again. This is just it's just I need a monitor with like a sized monitor with the comments in fucking large size. I was even really considering the idea of somehow routing a second, working because I have my TV is right here. So I was also thinking about that idea of potentially kind of sort of maybe using the TV as a second, like a monitoring device, but I don't want to get into that nonsense either. So it is what it is, guys. Sorry, if I do miss your call, by the way, here's one thing I can suggest. If I do by chance miss your comment, and if I missed it twice even, and someone from the staff didn't get to it either, because there's always people from the staff in on streams here too. If we missed it, or if I didn't get to it and you're really curious, please, honestly, I'm begging you, email me, theampsimuniverse.com, the email, theampsimuniverse@gmail.com, rather. And honestly, sometimes it takes me a little time. It might take me a couple of days to get back to you, but yeah, I would love to have the chat. If there's something you're really curious about, then yeah, please do. As long as it's not something really easy. Here's the thing, like we're always willing to answer questions, but sometimes if you have a question that is just so phenomenally, like something that's really, really, really like rudimentary, we'll go over it a little bit, and then I'm going to point you to the search bar up here, because there's going to be 9 million videos that'll explain it better than I can, quicker than I can, or in a more elaborate way than I can. Like, we had one guy who's like, well, I don't really understand. How do I use an impulse response? And that is just a question that, like, that we're getting on this stuff now. Like, sure, we can point you in the right direction. We can give you some simple advice that you're just going to use it in a loader. It's essentially a digital cabinet. We'll give you the basics. But as far as walking you through, like, the beginner issues that you may or may not have, we can help. But we're also going to try to direct you up here as well, because there is, at this point in the AmpSim history, there are no questions that have not been answered, and then some with YouTube videos, tutorials, walkthroughs. So, and some people are like, well, how come you don't make a video about the the best free impulse response loaders? Because I only use one. I really only use one loader. I'm not going to make a video about stuff that I don't personally use, and also the fact that there's a billion of those videos already. So if you're out there and you're really wanting some of like the really basic, some of those serious basics, again, no problem. We can fill you in the best way we can, or you can tell us, hey, like some of this stuff that you're talking about is a little over my head. Can you maybe slow it down a little bit? Absolutely, we can. But if there is something in the comments that we don't get to, please do email. Now, let's get rid of all of the old school stuff. We're just proving that the old school stuff works. Yeah, it looks a little old school, but if you're just using it and you're not creating content, you don't care necessarily. Why do you care about how the UI looks? Doesn't really matter that much. Oh, but it doesn't have my drop tuner. It doesn't have a tuner either. Oh, it doesn't have a built-in boost section. What am I gonna do? Oh my God. Like, you got to learn how to build signal chains, folks. You are gonna have more fun. But right now we just came from building a signal chain, and we don't really need to build anymore because now it's AmpHub time. And we're starting with the brand new 13 dB model R23, and this is the divided by 13? Is that's the company? And then Membrini Audio recently did something similar to this. Is it the same amp, I believe, but in a combo format? This is just the same amp, but in a head format and on a cabinet. As the Membrini Audio just put out the divided by 11, this is going to be something similar to that. So we're just going to kind of play around with this and look for some basic, we'll call it the basic bitch. No, it can't be called the basic bitch rock tones. You can just call them the basic dad rock tones. And you're like, well, dad rock doesn't really fit anymore because this or that. There's still, dad rock still refers to classic rock, no matter how old classic rock gets. All right, so I think I'm gonna go with the OCD, and I'm not gonna go too crazy with it. Okay, and we'll see what we got here. Now again, I'm gonna go. Ooh, here's one thing. Sometimes I would like it. I don't know if it's available, if you can do this, but it'd be nice somewhere to be able to hit a button, and be able to take users straight to the matching cabinet. So I know that they've recently added this matching cabinet, so I'm going to go looking for it. And wait, where is it? Oh, it's the 212. That's right. Open back. No. Okay, we're going to go with that. And in this case, we're going to go with a let's go to the screen, by the way. I'm sure you guys would rather look at this anyways. All right, let's just stick with the same alignment for the moment. And I don't want that angle either. I'm just going to get a tone with the amp first, because again, I'm not really super familiar with this amp, so we're just going to see what we can get. So there's 2 channels here? There is. Yeah, man, the TE series, going back to what AT said there, the TE 1000 is a beautiful guitar. And that's the other thing about Telecasters I love so much, is that you can make them look as classy and jazzy and bluesy as you'd like, and then you can make them look fucking metal as hell. Metal as hell. And that's what I'd like to be able to do. None of my tellies really metal, and none of them are really dork. We're talking about an absolutely black fretboard that is like a dyed maple. He loves dyeing woods and stuff like that. We're talking about a few different options for this guitar that are just going to make it so sick. I cannot wait to work on it with him. I think it might be black and gold or black and white. We haven't fully decided just yet. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm actually going to blend the closed back and the open back. And I'm going to go to a 57. Let's see what we got here. 57. This sounds really good, guys. Sounds superb. I'm going to keep this really easy going here. I'm not going to use this pedal. I'm going to choose. Lots of options here in the pedal section, and really just have to find something that you want to use. And I'm just kind of strolling through. Let's give this a go. Some Fu Manchu in the background. That's stanky. I don't mind that at all. Anyhow, this amp is not designed to kill. Not designed to kill anybody. And if it's gonna kill you, it's gonna do it more of like a 50s greaser in a park snapping menacingly. You have no idea what I'm talking about because you're not old enough, but that's okay. This is not designed to murder anyone. Maybe back in like, if you had released this amp back in like the 60s or 70s, yeah, this would have been the hottest amp on the planet. And yeah, it does have some it does have some ability to rock. It does. You can make it angry, but it's not. The goal of this amp is not to murder anyone, though. All right, guys, please do give me. Hold on. Ibanez gets a bad rap, though. The reason why they cater to bolt-ons. Rudy Castillo, do explain. I'm curious as to that. Do you think that any companies will move towards subscriptions? I have AmpHub and I love it, but with so many options out there from companies, it might be worthwhile to offer something. There aren't some other. Yes, Audio Assault offers an amp locker subscription, and of course there's the Slate bundle, but whatever. STL Tones also offers ToneHub and a subscription for that. And there's like, holy shit. If you're a Kemper fan, ToneHub is for you. If you're not really a fan of like Kempers and profiles and stuff, not going to be as much for you. Although I will say that the tracing amp inside ToneHub is better than the whatever they have inside a Kemper. That is when you're able to manipulate the profiles with the onboard stuff. Like, when you're actually trying to increase the treble. I found on every Kemper I've ever used, that control was only good from about 4 to 6 on all of those controls before it started sounding really processed and robot-y. I didn't want it. But on the tracing amp, that becomes more like a 3 to 7 or 3 to 8. Yeah, I will say 3 to 8 or so. Even 2 to 8. It's a wonderful array of being able to shape the tones inside those profiles. And ToneHub also gives you just like so many options. And the cool thing is, if you're a creator, they give you like, I think it's like a few days or a week with every single, you can audition every pack. And there's like 100 packs at this point or something. Not actually 100, but there are so many packs. There could be 100 by now. There could actually be 100 ToneHub packs by now. I'm not sure. But with like any plugin, I always suggest, if it's something like a ToneHub, I would suggest go with the subscription versus purchasing all those packs. Because those packs, brother, the DLC adds up. We all know this. Video games, it adds up. And if you start DLCing, it'll add up. And so then, something else that's cool comes out and you're like, shit, I've got all this stuff. So a lot of people hate on subscriptions, but I'm all for it as long as you're busy. So if you're not creating, you're not busy, pause that subscription. Hopefully you can pause. I'm not sure if you can pause AmpHub or not, but Dave, it's great when you can pause subscriptions. I want a little bit more beef. I don't, the 212 cabinet is not doing enough for me. So let's look for a 412 I can blend with this one. I'm going to say, let's go with a Zilla. And yeah, let's go with a Zilla. All right, that's a bit juicier. Over here. That's a bit beefier. That sounds good, and I like it. However, it's definitely not taking my top spot in AmpHub for rock tones. It's not gonna come close, in all honesty. We're gonna go see that amp right now. And you might be thinking, actually, before we get to that, I'm going to play a little bit. What do you guys think? What do you guys think my favorite rock amp inside this vast array of awesome amps? Like, there's a ton of good stuff for rock and southern rock and hard rock and country rock and all kinds of rock, old rock, new rock, modern rock, vintage, whatever it is you're looking for. If you're the type of player that wants to recreate fuzzy 70s Hendrixy type tones, or maybe those double boosted, squishy, squashy Southern rock tones, using that magical strat position that's either the one off the back, the fourth position, magic for Southern rock, magic. Or whether you're looking to create that extra horde rock, American horde rock, and drop D, drop C that they play on, Sirius Octane. Doesn't matter what kind of rock you're interested in. They've got something for you right here every day of the week. My personal favorite actually is the Meridian Class 30. This thing is a goddamn beast for rock tones. I really enjoy it. I'm going to mess around with the cabs as we go here, but let's see what this is getting me with the cabs that I've got now. Yeah. I have to do it every time, guys. This is whenever I hear the middle of two humbuckers, I always think Hot for Teacher. Played poorly. That sounds lovely, but we're not looking for that. We're looking for rock. We are looking for rock and roll. So that's what I'm after now, and we're going to get that as we go here. Check it out. I do not want a pedal. Oh, that was the pedal anyways. So this without the boost. A little strange. So I like it with this boost on. So we're going to do that. Also, I like to use this as well from time to time. It's really handy when you use AmpHub. Essentially, you play a few notes and it will just adjust the input for you based on the amp that you're using and everything else. It's pretty cool. And so yeah, I'm all open for that. Let's do that. And let's keep going. I'm going to use a brighter, let's use a 212 still, but let's use something a bit different. I don't know what. I don't want to use, let's use a 212 this time for Zilla. This is there's some license stuff in here too, guys. Oh my gosh, really? Are you going to give me this? Stop giving me trouble. And then over here, let's just go something else. Let's go with a straight Marshall. Let's go with the Marshall. Okay. It's definitely made this guitar darker. So putting that cap in here. So this is my favorite rock amp inside this, and it's just based on a small PV. I really enjoy it. My taste is the Hot Rod DeVille, and AmpHub is great for a lot of stuff. I agree, Kyle, 100%. Marshall GMC, nope. PV all day for the American classic rock. This is good. This thing is just awesome. And this thing is my answer for like Southern rock and all kinds of old type stuff, newer type stuff. And Eddie, it's good to see you. Keep that head above water, my man. Life throws challenges, and I'm not the best with challenges. I'm not going to be honest with you guys. At this point, I've been through enough challenges that at 46, if I'm still having challenges, certain challenges should just be behind me. You know what I mean? Certain. That means still, man, they're all there. And the Canadian way of life is getting more and more expensive. We have one of the highest. I'm not getting political on this one, guys. I'm not trying to be miserable, man. I just see homeless people all around me, and it's a reminder. Like homeless, I mean, like in tents, no vehicle, no nothing, straight tents. We have a comeback, no legitimate in my area, and we have a comeback of scurvy is making a comeback. It's getting tough, guys, out there. It's getting tough. So chin up to everybody out there that might be that is struggling, and myself included from day to day. So yeah, we're not trying to put a damper on things around here. We're just, letting everybody know that, we all go through tough ones, and we're all here for you when you do. So yeah, this thing is just straight up and down my favorite rock amp inside AmpHub. I was wondering when something is going to come out, and this is in order. If you've used this before, that's an amp that I remember getting asked to use. I don't know what it's going to give me right now, though. Where'd it go? Where'd you go? Where did it go? I went by it, and then it was like, hi. And then it was, nope, there she go. Hey, there we go. And this is based off like the MiG 50. And, oh shit, what's the company again? This thing is fun, though. Fun, super fun. What is this again? It says right in the thing. Sovtek, sorry. Sovtek MiG 50. These were... Okay, these were like Russian made. These were like Russian made, and then they were made by somebody else. When this first came out, I did a lot of research on this amp, and I just, for the life of me, cannot remember it because I didn't really have to retain it at all. But these amps were made in bunches, and out of all the bunches of these amps ever made, not one of them... pardon me, not even one of them was ever identical. There was never never one run of these amps that was the same as another. So that's the craziest thing. You see collections of these Sovtek amps that involve multiple runs, like many runs of the same amp, and there are many of them. And one of them was made different because they ran out, like literally they stopped making a part of it, and the originals were made out of literally military grade shit. Because they were made out of surplus military stuff. You can't even make that shit up. That's so Russia. Like that. We make amps for military. You shut up. Literally, the amps in Russia can even kill you. I'm just teasing, guys. Oh, does this sound good though? Wow. So I've been talking with a particular artist about a signature suite. And in this discussion, this particular artist brought up the PV Butcher. Now, it's not going to make it into the particular suite for that artist. But it definitely got me thinking and wanting a plugin based on a PV Butcher. Yeah, so this thing sounds good. It feels good too. It sounds warm, big, fat, and responsive. There are different mods, and for the life of me, I cannot remember what the mods do now. Here's mod 1. Mod 2. And mod 3. Take a little mids off that. This thing sounds rad, dude. I don't even want a pedal. Go away. No pedals for me right now. It's just me, the amp, and the cab right now, in theory. Oh, this thing sounds good. Hold on. All right, let's see what we got here. Yeah, dude, I definitely remember when I did the Bon Jovi tribute show. We're telling us stories? No, are we telling stories now? Okay, let's get into the story of this one. So in my neck of the woods, as well as many other necks of the woods, they have tribute shows where they have these shows where local bands will either as a band or they'll mix match members between bands for fun and do a one-off tribute set of like, a half an hour to 40 minutes of a particular art, and anywhere from 20 to 40 minutes of a particular artist that they want to choose. And they go over very well. They have for years. And back a ways, I performed in many of them. I performed in sets doing Faith No More, Him, The Offspring, Bon Jovi. There was a bunch. Gosh, man, Green Day. Man, there were so many. I think I did close to 10. Oh, Rage Against the Machine. Damn it. In any event, it was such a fun time. These are really fun times. And then, so I got asked to do this, to drum for Bon Jovi tribute and sing backup. It was super fun. It was with a bunch of guys that I could not have wanted to play this with more. Problem was the guitar player was working and didn't really have any time to study the material. So he really basically just pulled it almost entirely out of his ass. And he also had to try to break a door down to get his little costume that he purchased. I wore a costume that was so tight that I had to cut the shorts off as opposed... I bought a pair of shorts that were so tight that I literally had to cut them off on the side. Because I had put them on and said, I'll just deal with it. They were already ripping in the crotch and nobody saw it because I was behind the kit, but that's a good story. Man, this stream is exactly what I needed to put myself in a better mood today. Thank you so much for being part of this. I'm not leaving and I'm not going anywhere yet, but man, thank you so much for being here today, guys. And so far, man, the Sovtech is just one. I was asked to throw this into a stream a while ago. I've heard a couple times that the crank amps are based on what? The Sovtechs? For realsies? Yeah, well, I mean, yeah, Voxes can get real mad, dude. Real angry. The Vox AC30 is a bad motherfucker. That amp is like... It's got tons and tons and tons of balls behind it. Not like modern gainy chugs or anything like that. But yeah, you can make it real mad. No need for a pedal there either. Lots of angriness in that amp for sure. Sorry, 37 there? Wow. In my part of the woods right now, it's in Celsius, it's minus Last night was minus 30. Wow, with the wind chill. Holy cow, this sounds good though. Jeez Louise. It's the warmth and the body and the full, like, it's almost like if I close my eyes and imagine that I've had headphones on. This is what I ask everybody to do. Okay? Put your headphones on and just imagine for a second that you're sitting in a chair and on the other side of a piece of glass, you can see your head. You can see your amp, but on the other side of the piece of glass is your cabinet, and all the sound is coming from in there. It's soundproofed. A little bit of room verb. Make sure you put a little bit of room verb on. For that, I use a free, because I know there's a lot of room verbs involved in plugins, but I just have this one running all the time. This is mostly for me, but in this case, I have it running, and it's 6% moist. And this is a free M Convolution EZ. If you haven't checked out anything from Melda Productions yet, please go check them out, because man, they've got a lot of cool free stuff and paid software you need to check out ASAP. Lots of cool stuff at Melda. Guitar amps over there, they're a bit of an adventure. You gotta be a real serious tweaker slash gearhead to go and want to, and like their amp sims do not fuck around. There's a lot, like you can control everything. So, but you just gotta want it. You gotta want it. And even for me, that's a bit more than I need in an amp sim, but I won't deny the fact that everything that's got the Melda Productions name on it carries an intense level of quality. So meticulous, this company. Getting back to it though, what I'm saying is just put the headphones on. Imagine there's a big piece of glass. You're in one of those studios that's got the ISO room for your cab. And hit it hard. Hit it soft. Adjust your volume. Egads. What does he just say? Did he just say adjust his volume knob? Yeah, I just said it. I'm not going to take it back either. Let's do it together. That's a good amp sim. That's a really good amp sim, guys. That's how you know something. There are just things that after you've been using these things long enough, you can just hear the difference between a gooder and a badder. You can just hear it. You'll be able to tell when something is just not there. Even it's not even that it's not authentic with what it's modeled after. You don't even have to know that in that moment to just listen to it and say, it's not warm, it sounds plastic. And you're like, what does it mean when something sounds like plastic or cardboard? You know exactly what that means. You know exactly, without even knowing what that means. We all know what that means. If something sounds like, it means that it's lifeless. It sounds soulless. It sounds cold. It doesn't sound organic. Things like that. That's what is meant by that specifically. And gosh, do I ever love this particular amp sim. AmpHub is just tone for days. I didn't really have much of a goal for tones coming in here today, as a matter of fact. Yeah, it's nice. The notes just, you can just hear things. It's warm. It's beautiful. And there are a lot, I'm not going to lie to you guys. There are a lot of companies out there not doing things the right way. And we just simply don't showcase those companies. Any company that we agree as a team is just not creating products that we want to showcase here. We just don't. And I saw one comment that was made. where it said we were only going to promote the companies that gave us stuff to give away. And that's, again, it's fucking horse shit. That's what we did during the holidays. Yes, true, because they supported the contest we did. there was several of them, so we got a lot of material in there. Yeah, but at the same time, now we have one bias here at the AmSim universe. And I want to make sure this is very clear. We have one single bias. There also, the other comment was that we're biased towards developers that we know personally. That's also incorrect. We are biased towards one thing: good tone. That's it. It doesn't even have to look nice. If it sounds great, we like it. That's the thing. It's like we look for affordability. We look for all things we look for things that are going to be good for you as well. And we don't want to start promoting things that we don't believe in, because we don't want you to waste your money on them. Plain and simple. And there are very few, like there are not many, but there are a few developers out there that are just trying to make fast cash and separate you from your money. They're trying to make fast cash with, be it, hiding NAM underneath without actually telling anybody, hiding the neural amp model or underneath the skin and putting in a few profiles and calling it a plugin. And then you get a lot of black box types of stuff, but even black box modeling. I've got nothing against the black box versus white box. If you're not sure what the difference is, perhaps maybe Bo could put a brief description in the comments for people that are not fully sure the difference. We're going to do a video on it, but I want to make sure that we get all of our stuff in order. But there is a pretty big difference between white box and black box. Essentially, white box modeling is modeled from analog. Black box modeling is just finding other ways to do things, essentially. Whether it be profiling or this, that, the other thing. And there are a lot of companies that have also made both work for them. I have nothing against black box modeling. However, I don't like anything where it's just been designed to separate you from your money. I don't like plugins that don't really have a lasting effect. I don't like plugins that just don't seem to have a lot of originality, or maybe just are using black box in a way that's just to cut corners and not really put a lot of money into the development. That's not something I really agree with, though. So just being clear out there, Ton Guitar, Mr. Moonshine, how are you? You know who should get their own plugin? Jared James Nichols. And if you don't know who Jared James Nichols is, you should go look him up, because that dude is tone. He has a few components in his tone: a Black Star amp, a Les Paul armed with a P90, just a single P90, and no pick at all. This is a clone as well, I think, in there somewhere. I think he's got a clone. Or is it maybe it's a clone now? I don't know. I would never tour with an actual Centaur, so maybe he's just got a really nice clone. Maybe not. Gosh, though, I would be so worried someone was going to separate me from that pedal. Sorry, guys. You have to listen to me chug things on stream. This always happens. I find one plugin one amp in AmpHub that I just want to get stuck on. And today, who was it? I don't know if I missed it. Somebody already said it, but who was it that was wanting to see this? Somebody was really wanting to see it. How's it going, Freyskin? How's it going, everybody? He is the Tarzan of guitar players. That dude is a fucking machine. If I woke up one morning and I woke up one morning and I walked to the mirror and I was the size of, and I looked like Jared James Nichols, man, I would be so pumped about life. I'd probably walk around for a full day without a shirt on. Just cause, yeah. I just walk around with a pig nose, no shirt on, and my guitar just shredding. And I I'm not trying to pick anybody up. I'm just shredding to show off my guns, you know? Thank you very much, Bo. Eddie, it's really good to see you, man. The group chat has been missing some life. And man, we have lots coming up this year. Guys, I know that I got a little bit of news. Just due to I've done enough practice runs now that I'm going to all the videos, like we've got this format down now called the rundown. And I've done a bunch of practice videos, a whole bunch, and I've refined things, watched them back on the big screen and made some notes and then done it again and done it again and again. Now I've got a really good format. So I've decided, though, that anything that I'm going to be sending to a developer for the purpose of sharing, I really would like to be armed with the guitar that is coming from our sponsor. And I just need to wait for the pickups to be built and sent over, and then we are good to go. So I'm going to be waiting until I get that guitar, because I think it's just only fair for the sponsors that most of the time, when applicable for anything I can use that guitar for, I'm going to use that guitar for that particular piece of content. Just because I really do want to just showcase, truly show that thanks for the support, and show again, a return on investment as well, right? So realistically, I think our rundowns should start showing up in February is what I'm going to predict. Guitar will probably be finished late this month, and then I can start creating with it next month. Unless it's like country, in which case anything that I've got to do for like rock, country, anything like that, it's going to be done with something else. Doom as well. I have a Rev 1 and a Rev 1 Plus, but I haven't had the pleasure of trying anything else from Tony. Great amps. Man, great day today. We're going to move along from soft tech. Oh, yeah, geez, this is such a great amp. This is one of, I believe, the hidden gems in here, and that's what I love about the selection in here. This not cookie cutter. There's nothing cookie cutter about the selection here, and if anybody ever says that, smack them. This is not just catered towards your gent guys or your modern metalheads. It's not just catered towards really anyone. It is sort of a full service station to make sure that everyone has every tone they could really ever imagine or shoot for. There's no way that you're not going to hit your goals with this particular plugin. There's just no way that you're going to say, well, I can't get tone X. There's no genre that I can think of that's not possible with the stuff that's inside here. And there's not one component inside here that I don't like. There used to be one, but I noticed some significant improvements on that component, so I've vowed never to mention it again. I only mentioned it a couple times, and they've also added some more bass gear, which is fucking phenomenal. I love seeing that. I love seeing the bass gear. That was one of my favorite things. Why? You can't just touch the light? Oh, that's sad. That's boo. Anyways, that's just me being a crank. All right, so I'm going to use a little more of this. We've got the TPA1 and the old school NRR. It used to be the NRR1, and now it's the NRRX. This thing is beef. This thing is beefy, guys. Looks very similar to the Anvil in the way it's laid out, but it is very much not the Anvil. Yeah, this also cranks. So we're just hanging out today with a Telecaster armed with nothing but rock pickups and seeing what it can do when matched up with some truly awesome stuff like AmpHub. And if you want to see how far Ignite amps has come over the years. It's just easy to go back and use all of their old freeware, and you'll be able to look at that stuff and look at where they are now, and just you'll be able to see the progression. And many of us have been able to watch it right in front of our eyes because we've been fans since 5 years prior to the merger. And we all remember the day that the merger happened, where a lot of people were like, what the fuck? You know, and I think genuinely there are a few people that are still like, we're stuff to making the freeware. Now I have to pay for stuff. But generally, most people are really, really proud to see where, Carlo and Fetty are right now, along with Sonny, of course. But we're just talking the Ignite side of things right now. It's just, for me, it's just so great to see these guys where they are right now, working with some of the names they're getting to work with and things that they're getting to do. And I can just remember being part of, like, way back, and being part of, like, the old school forums and user groups and stuff, and seeing new products come down the pipe way back in the day. And it's just so great to see where they're at right now. And I can remember it because the NRR1 was one of their older products, and this thing was made to dazzle. It is. It was one of my favorites from back in the day, and I really should reinstall it. No, they don't have the ProFet, but I have the ProFet right here. And if you're curious, but I'm not sure if you know this. I'm not sure. But the ProFet is the drive side of the Emissary preamp. So there's a clean side and there's the drive side. There's the drive side is the ProFet pedal. So the ProFet pedal is, so when you put together the ProFet and the TPA1, you're essentially making an Emissary, your own Emissary. Because if I'm not mistaken, the power section in the Emissary is the TPA1, and the preamp section is the ProFet, and that's just been separated. So the ProFet is available, of course, in this, and you're able to go and build your own, essentially build your own Emissary, which is kind of cool to do. I did it many times back in the day. It was fun. I've seen this plugin used phenomenally, incorrectly a lot of times as like just a distortion pedal, but really it's a preamp pedal. You can use it as a distortion pedal if you want, but it's not going to give you the best results unless you're using it, in my opinion, as a preamp, which means I would put this out front of just a power section and do it that way, and it sounds super good that way. Check it out. It's also free, and you can check it out. Also free. NAMM Universal had to talk about it today, and we just got a little bit behind on some of the updates because there's a few other things going on at Wavemind right now. They had Distant and a few other things that they're working on, some updates for some of the older plugins. And so you understand what's going on. If you're a fan of NAMM Universal, we'll be getting high pass, low pass filter, the free version. That is, we'll be getting high pass, low pass filter, be getting 300 to 300 plus presets, as well as more things for the toolkit. And then shortly after that, NAMM Universal Plus will come out at a very low price. And I'm not sure as to the timing of everything, but that is just because we ended up on there by mistake. I figured I would go over it. Not a shameless plug, I promise you. I think you guys know me well enough now that I don't really do. It's just always in the chain. All right. Going back to it, we're going to find some other. Let's go with the Meridian 31, which is based on the 3120. And that is the Triple X with an EL34 power section. Triple X V1. And I'm actually going to go with the rhythm channel in the middle. And let's go with the rhythm channel. I want to make sure that this is not super loud. Wait, what? I see what I did there. That's a bit loud. That's a bit loud, guys. Sorry. That's too much gain. I'm not looking, but I mean, it does show you that the PAF Pro in the bridge position can seriously, no problem. It can do all kinds of different tones. It can do, I think where it maxes out is probably thrash, maybe thrash, but even then, whoa, that is extra loud. Let's bring that down even more. That's just too much gain. The clean channel, let's try the clean channel. I don't really know it's gonna, let's see what happens here. That's not clean. Yeah, there's no way it's not giving me really an access to, there's no gain control in there. It's just a straight up, nice clean though. No. That's not really what I'm looking for. I'm not looking for country today. So that's not going to be a stop on my tour. Not going to be on here for too much longer, guys. Been on here for a while. I'm having a good time, though, so I'm happy to see where this goes. Play it out and then go back to what we're doing. Just making sure. And plus, whereas the Emissary is a full tube amp, of course. Only the ProFet is solid state, I'm guessing, yeah. But I mean, when you mix the ProFet with the TPA1, that's the tube section, right? So yeah. So it's the preamp and then the power. If I'm understanding it correctly, inside the Emissary plugin, the TPA1 is the power section because you can switch the power section, but not in. That's the only thing I don't like about the Emissary in here is because they don't give you the option. At least last time I checked, where is it? Do they still give you now? I mean, I don't know why they don't give you the option to switch the tubes. Wow, I felt a very large bump. I have to check and see if someone has arrived. Hello? And we are in a household here, folks. Sorry. We are streaming from inside a household. We occasionally have to do household things here. I live in a fourplex, essentially, and every once in a while it's pretty quiet most of the time. I'm even quiet, believe it or not. Yes, that's true. Yes, the Emissary, yes, the Emissary is. But as far as I know, though, the design for the Emissary came in software first, and then came the amp itself. I don't know which one came first specifically, but I can remember, if I'm not mistaken, the actual hardware came second, and then it came after the plugin. I don't know if it's actually. I'm not 100% sure, but I know that. What is that? My neighbor has his kids. I forgot. You can really feel when the kids are around because then it's like the whole house is moving. Yeah, you're right. It is based on an actual amp that does exist. Can you still order a tube amp? Can you still order an Emissary? Can someone look at that? Can someone find out and see if you can still order an Ignite Amps Emissary? I don't think you can. I just mean what they've done is they've taken as far as the structure of things goes, the TPA1 itself, the circuitry and the code and everything else, that plus the ProFet equals an Emissary, as far as I understand, minus the clean tone. I think it'll be fun with a few extra things too. Yeah, thanks, Ton. The Anvil, by the way, is also not available inside AmpHub. It would be cool though, but they have brought in the Neptune. I hate when I do that. The Neptune, where is it? They brought in the Graviton. This is a bass amp called the Graviton. Graviton. And there's the TPA2. The SHB is not in here. And as far as I know, the SHB also has nothing to do with the Graviton. Hang on, I have to pull DJ for a second here. I want to see if I can hear something. Yo, yo, yo in the front row. It actually hurts me to wear my headphones like this. I hate it so much. There it is, the Neptune. So this is the Neptune. I don't know much about what this is. Somebody else mentioned it last stream and it crushes. This thing absolutely crushes. I'm not going to go ahead and use it for rock tones right now. You know what? Fuck it. Let's find out. Channel. Let's use it for rock and see what happens here. Okay. I was wrong. I'm willing to admit that I was wrong now, and we'll start my 4-part apology. Ooh, was I ever wrong? Was I ever wrong here? Wow. Okay. Wow. Okay. I'm really glad that I decided to give that a go. That is very, very bright. So let's take some of the presence down there. Is bright on already? Yeah, it was. Okay, so I can stick with the presence where I'm at. Better with the presence, or is better with... Everything's always better with the bright switch. Come on. Okay, I was wrong. The Neptune rips. I wonder how much it would cost to order an emissary. Not that I could afford one. That'd be really cool to own one of those, though. If I was a millionaire, that's the kind of shit that I would buy. Why? Because I know that really good people, I know that my money would go to really good people for something that was made really well. That would probably sound fucking incredible. And if I had any need whatsoever, if I was a millionaire, I would have a practice space and a place to put analog gear. Unfortunately, I'm not. So I don't have a place. I don't even have a place that I can use analog gear. 3 notes at a loud volume in this place would irritate everyone in my building. And I'm just not prepared to do that. Even when I do singing in the house, it's very loud. And I always have to go to each apartment and be like, all right, guys, I'm going to be singing for the day here for a few hours. I'm sorry in advance. Protect your eardrums at all costs. And if I'm singing metal, I tell them to make sure they understand I am not dying. If I'm singing hardcore, I'm like to let them know that I'm not yelling at my wife. So yeah, the Ignite amps Neptune. Fantastic. And it's another reason that you should get AmpHub for at least just try it for 3 months. And if you disagree and you think it's not worth your time, oh well, it's $30. Whatever. These days, $30 doesn't amount to a whole lot. So if you're really active and you're recording a lot, and you're creating a lot, you're writing a lot, you're rehearsing a lot, you're learning a lot, whatever it is you're doing a lot at home and you don't really want to use an analog amp all the time, grab this, especially if you're playing in a cover band and your main rig is something like a Kemper, and you need the access to a lot of different tones at home. A lot of people just bring the Kemper in and you know, use the headphones and stuff like that with the Kemper. That's fine, 100%. But I always say, like, it's nice to have like a multi-amp suite around because it might open your mind to profiles and amps and gear that you've never heard before, that all of a sudden you're like, well, I'm going to go buy the next Kemper pack I find based on this amp because this is straight fire. Whatever this thing is, this is crazy. I'm going to go, and then you go and you buy a bunch of packs, and then all of a sudden your live rig's a bit different. Or for people with actual cash and the ability to buy and sell and trade analog gear, I know a lot of people that will go and before ordering an amp, they'll go and use they'll look at what is the most realistic and authentic version of that amp, and a plug-in version of that amp, and they will go and buy a plug-in and just, either to help them get stoked or help them see what it's going to be able to provide. It's fun. I wish I was in a situation where where I could actually had the need for more analog gear, but I'm just not. Someday, absolutely, I've decided when we buy a house, whenever that is, I am going to buy myself a single amp and cab of some regard. Going to build a little tiny jam space for my friends and I to be able to jam if we want, have a functional and versatile guitar amp in the house for that reason. And I'm excited about that. That's a dream I have. So you guys can feel free to tell me about your gear dreams as well, because that is definitely a dream I've had for many years. Although, man, in today's economy, buying a house just seems to be something. It just seems to be almost. Economy, that's politics again. We're not even talking about politics, but man, whether it's buying gear or everything else, we're feeling the pinch these days between gas and everything else. And bands are stopping to tour now because people are saying that, the ticket prices are too high. Well, they've explained this recently, why ticket prices are so high. And, Avenged Sevenfold came out and said it pretty well. And then people called them. I don't even like Avenged Sevenfold at all. I could not give a fuck about that band at all. I feel like the guitar players need a suite. And not having a suite for those guitar players, or at least Sinister Gates, is kind of dropping the ball. Someone needs to do a suite for Sinister Gates, because that's ding, ding, ding. But at the same time, that's a band that they're like straight up, we can't afford to tour, and everybody's bitching about ticket prices, but they don't understand it's fucking expensive to tour right now because the gas prices are double, hotel prices are double, this is a double, food prices are double. You're not making any money, and you're away from home for 10 months a year, 11 months a year, even 12 months in a year. You're away from home. You're not really turning a profit. Why the fuck would you do that? You know what I mean? Touring is not what it once was. So stop giving bands shit because they don't want to tour because things are too expensive. Because these days it's better off for a band to just go out and get real jobs, regular day jobs and careers, exist as a local band and a regional band, occasionally film live sets on maybe they did during COVID where they were filled. Behemoth still does it. What do you guys think? Tell me in the comments. If you're a band and you're huge, but you can't afford a tour, do you think it's possible now that things have changed so drastically? Do you think now that things are based on merch sales and everything else, do you think a band would do okay living in one place, touring, playing in that place, being part of the tourism? So follow me here, guys. We've often thought about this as being interesting. So they would be up for tourism grants and things like that, maybe because they'd be part of the tourism, because they would only be playing in a regional area so they can conserve money. They wouldn't be playing abroad. They wouldn't be playing in Australia. If someone else from Australia wants to see Avenged Sevenfold, they got to come to LA, or they got to come to wherever that band is doing a residence, maybe. That's what they have to do, because touring is impossible. Venues are shutting down. So you guys tell me in the comments, what would you do? What can bands do these days? Do you think, if my opinion is, if I was in a hugely popular band and I couldn't afford to tour, what I would do is I would do what bands did during COVID. Do live shows, live stream shows that people have to tip. You have to buy money, pay a small amount. Don't charge too much because people are just going to find a way around to pirate it. If it's a reasonable amount, people will pay it. And then, consistently release merch, tour regionally in small amounts so that people will travel to see you. That is what bands are, and that's what I've heard discussed, and I think that would be a really good idea. Tell me in the comments, do you think that would work? I think bands are going to start approaching this. Look at all the bands that are doing residencies in Vegas now that would never have done residencies before. What's to stop bands from doing residencies at smaller bars? Even if it was a band like, say, the Dropkick Murphys, a smaller bar capable, you know, you're not going to pack a place like Motley Crue or U2. But what's to stop the Dropkick Murphys from doing a month residency in Vegas to support and to do tourism? What's to stop them from doing that? Would they be called sellouts? Would punk bands get called a sellout if they decided to do that? Does it matter? You know, bands got to stay afloat. Tell me in the comments, how do you feel bands can stay afloat and not tour at all? Because I think now, especially with venues getting shut down now with injuries due to mosh pits and people taking mosh pits way too far, there's so much insurance and liabilities, and phones are out all the time. If someone's as much as gets smacked in the face at a metal show now and their parents don't like that, they maybe didn't know they were there, then all of a sudden it's all over social media that someone got hurt and at a hardcore show, and then venues can't afford to exist. They get sued once, it's sued into the dirt, and that is a wrap. It sucks, man. I'm really glad. I'm so glad, and I will cling to the gladness and cling to the being super grateful that I grew up in an era and I toured. I had the opportunity to tour a bit. Not extensively, mind you, but a bit. And I grew up in an era where shows were just easy. We could do all ages shows and actually trust the majority of people weren't going to try to steal beer off tables. Shit like that. Nowadays, you don't get away with the all ages shows anymore. You just can't. You just can't get away with it. There's a lot of bars that just do not want to do all ages events anymore because too many people fuck around and fucking film it. There's like those case in point, those kids that film themselves getting absolutely bringing their own beer and getting trashed at a bar in the bathroom, videotaped it, and then all of a sudden the bar lost their liquor license. Fuck. And so, those kids don't understand that they just ruined local music for a lot of people locally for a long time. Yeah, it sucks, man. Sorry for the offshoot, guys. I don't mean to take things in a depressing turn. We just like to tell stories and do a little chatting here once in a while. You might maybe thinking, what does that have to do with the Amp Sim universe? Well, playing in a band is something that is related to the Amp Sim universe. And keep in mind, there are a lot of things that are surrounding Amp Sims in the Amp Sim universe. One of those things, playing in a band. And there's a lot of us in this on the staff here that have a lot of experience playing in bands. So if you have something to add, don't spam us with links on your band, but feel free to name drop. I'm in this band. This is my band. Check us out. You know, kind of thing. I don't mind, especially if the stuff was created with Amp Sims. Like if you're the stuff you're sending us, that's great. Or ask questions about what is it like to be to do this or that in a band, or if you've never been in a band and you're looking to find a band in your area, this is something we can also help with a little bit. Why not? We're multifaceted over here. Let's check the comments. Yeah, we're not going to talk about Gen Z. I'm not going to talk about gens and everything else. That's just been all blown out of proportion. There are good people, there are bad people, there are smart people, there are dumb people, and there's all kinds of all of the above, and in all of the different generations are full of good and bad and smart and dumb people. And I think there's just every generation has their ups and downs and their strengths and weaknesses and their problems. I just don't like that everyone over 30 is a boomer. Or everybody that expects that someone should have to work for a living is a boomer. Anybody that suggests consequences in the world today, that's a boomer. Oh, fucking boomers. If you don't suggest that everybody is just allowed to say and do whatever the hell they want, you're a boomer. In any event, guys, I'm going to get out of here for the day. I've had a great time hanging out with you guys the last couple hours. The moral of the story is today that AmpHub and a Telecaster equals wonderful. It really is. And sometimes when I need to get my head straight, I just take one of my Telecasters. Whether you have one Telecaster or many Telecasters or no Telecasters, maybe you hate Telecasters. Either way, whatever it is that you play on, I guarantee you're going to like AmpHub. There's just no way that you won't like AmpHub. And it's one of the plugins that I just so seldom do I see anything bad said about this plugin by anyone. I just don't. Sure, there are going to be those people that inherently hate the subscription model, and they will tell you about it every time any subscription service comes up. They'll tell you how much they hate it. Good! Don't subscribe then! I don't care! Maybe you'll maybe your negativity will talk someone into not subscribing. Fuck off. Shut up. Don't even post it. Subscription services are part of life, and I think that, and they are as old as retail. Subscription services are not a new thing. They've been around forever and ever and ever and ever. Why are people acting like it's so crazy that subscriptions have come to software? I don't understand. Subscriptions have been a loyal thing to do, a smart business thing to do for a very long time. Magazines did pretty well on a subscription with a subscription model for a very long time. Why? Because people like convenience. People like having access. People like having things delivered to them. And when you get AmpHub, by the way, I'm not being paid. This has not been paid for. All they've given me is a free subscription. And I ain't gonna be no puppet for $10 a month. It's just something that very nice, by the way. Thank you so much to STL Tones for giving us his subscription day one. Sonny was so excited and about this whole platform, and I'm super excited to see where it's gone since day one. They add gear every month. They have yet to fail once on delivering new gear every single month. That was one thing at the beginning that I saw a lot of people commented. They'll never adhere to that. They're never going to be able to keep up with that. That's insane. That's insane. They'll never keep up with it. They did. Factually, they did keep up with that. And they have kept up with it in the form of pedals. It might be an amp. It might be a cabinet. It might be new features. But this plugin has come a long way over the course of its lifetime. And it's not that old. I think it's a couple years old at this point. Maybe 2, 3 tops. I think it's only 2 years old though. Maybe 3. I think it's probably close to 3. I can't recall exactly. In any event, try this for a few months. Make sure though, like I said, make sure you're busy. And if you're not busy, don't do a subscription. Then everyone's like, subscription's a waste of money because you don't own anything. Yeah, sure, that's fine. And you can buy these amps, by the way. You can buy anything in here. Anything you'd like. You can just buy it all. No problem. And you can own it for good. And it is a platform. A lot of companies are going to platforms because they're easier to maintain. It's one update to run instead of a bajillion updates to run. Okay? So I want to make sure that you guys understand this thing really does rip. And I would love to be able to talk with everybody about it that's tried it. I don't believe you can try it for free outside of like just the emissary and a few small things. But man, just go with the subscription. Even just do it for a month, $10. It's $10. That does not even buy you a Happy Meal anymore. Okay? You want a Happy Meal? Buy this for $10 for a month. You'll get 30 days of happiness instead of about 8 seconds of happiness. Hold on, what do we got here? See you guys for the bass stream. Keep dreaming, Freeskin. Yeah, you know what? 513. You know what? I'm not going to have time to do it today. I was really thinking maybe today, but you know what? Pedro, just for the sake of doing a bass stream, I went and got bass strings this past weekend. Brand new set of bass strings for my P bass. And I'm actually going to be doing a bass stream this week. I was going to say, you know what? Let's do it right now. If you had said that in just like 45 minutes ago, I'd have been like, that's it, bass stream. We're doing it now. It sounds really nice with a new set of strings on it. I did a nice little setup on it. So you can be assured that there will be a bass stream this week. I don't know exactly what day, but it'll be about 4:30 in the next couple days. I'm also going to be doing a VTAR amp stream in this coming weekend. There's NFL playoffs there this weekend, so it'll be sparing again. Very, very important. I'm going to be doing an early morning stream on either Saturday early morning stream is going to be Sunday. Okay, so when I say early morning, it's early morning for me. It'll probably be at roughly 10 a.m. Eastern time on likely Sunday. So I hope everybody, yeah, it's happening. I would do it right this second. You know what? I really don't have a lot to do. I really don't have a lot to do today. I've nothing really to do for the next hour and a half. So if you know what, we're doing it. We're just gonna do a bass stream. Geez, you know what? I'm just trying to think of really what would be the best. I'm gonna do it tomorrow. Because if I do it today, it's only gonna be about an hour. Tomorrow, I'd like to make it about 90 minutes. So I'm gonna do it tomorrow. So 4:30. Tomorrow or Thursday, one of the two, you can be assured. I also want to just make sure my chops are back up to snuff because I haven't played a lot of bass lately. So make sure that I have something to showcase for you. I would like to do it today. I really would though. But in any event, I don't want to overdo it, and also expecting you guys to watch like 4 hours of stream is nonsense. So I'm gonna do it tomorrow. I will see you guys tomorrow. My challenge for you guys today is to go listen to some early Yngwie Malmsteen like we're doing right now. Here's the album right here. Make sure. Well, go listen to Far Beyond the Sun anyway. If you haven't heard it. Go check out some old shred. That's my... If you don't like Yngwie, make sure you go and check out some old shred. Plain and simple. That's all I'm asking you guys to do. Go check out some old shred, whether it's Shrapnel Records shred, old Van Halen, old vintage shred, and then analyze the gear they're using and compare it to what lead guitar players are using today. That's your homework today. Not even a challenge, your homework. All right, guys. So I am going to see you guys probably tomorrow or Thursday for a bass stream. The bass is all primed up. She's ready to go. It's ready to fly. I don't even know if you guys have seen Goldie before. I'm not sure. Dusty. Anyways, see you guys time zone that? Yeah, EST tomorrow about 4:30. And that's typically the time you're going to see me on a weekday. So if you guys are ever trying to pre-plan, I'd say honestly, guys, during the week it's when I'm feeling it. And oftentimes for most of us when we get off work, we just want to go And if I'm not feeling social and like yapping after work, I can't do it. I just refuse to come on here for you guys and be like hey guys, how's it going? And I'm not going to fake it or force it or anything else. I want to be charged up, and I want to feel charged up about it, not just like pretend to be charged up like, oh, come on guys, check out this amp, yeah. We're not going to do that around here. Okay? So in any event, thank you so much for giving me a couple hours of your time for just me and my Telecaster here. I haven't thought of a name for this guitar yet. I was thinking something real blue collar, like Ted or Jed or Bob or Mike, Jeff, something like that. I don't know. We'll see. It's working hard, kind of. It's a working man's guitar. We'll see. Give me next time you guys see this guitar, give me an idea for a name for this, and maybe we'll see if we can have a prize for somebody that gets something that's really funny. I don't know. All right. Thank you once again. I will see you guys tomorrow or Thursday latest. And again, thank you. Cheers, everybody. I'll see you next time.